Hello, welcome to the Owatonna Today Show, your community connection. I'm your host, Francy Hall. And today's show, we are going to be visiting with Betsy Lindgren from Express Employment Professionals. And after that, Leanne took a field trip up to Duluth for the annual hawk migration. So you'll get to join her on that trip in the upcoming segment. Since it is Friday, it is the time that we want to thank our sponsors. We want to thank them every day, but especially here on Fridays. Let's go ahead and thank our premier sponsors, City of Owatonna, Express Employment Professionals, Owatonna Public Utilities, and United Way of Steele County. Thank you. Our primary sponsors are Amy Swain Hearing Centers, Brookdale Senior Living Solutions, Little Theater of Owatonna, and the Owatonna Foundation. Our interlude sponsors are Abraham Consulting Technologies, Bremer Bank, Brenda Bednar Mortgage Office, Glenn Mager and Michael Mager of the Brickmaker Funeral Home and Medford Funeral Home, Carlson, Branstad and Company CPAs, ERA Gillespie Real Estate, Fairview Animal Medical Center, Horizon Eye Care, Clancher and Son Landscaping and Concrete, Owatonna Business Incubator, Steele County Historical Society, Steele County Transitional Housing, the Third Hand Video Productions, and TPS Insurance. We hope that you will support these fine Owatonna businesses that support our show and make it possible and do so much for our community. Also, we want to remind you that we are looking for more supporters of the show. If you value this show and what we bring to the community, please do consider being a sponsor. You can contact Leanne at 390-5751. Stay with us. After a word from our sponsors, we will be right back with Betsy Lindgren and Express Employment Professionals.
Hi, I'm Jody Voisin with the staff at Fairview Animal Medical Center, your other family doctor. Fairview Animal Medical Center is a proud supporter of the Owatonna Today Show.
Hi, I'm Rick Smith, Golf Course Superintendent of the Brooktree Golf Course. Brooktree is an 18-hole championship golf course featuring well-manicured greens, tees, and fairways. We are open to the public. I challenge you to find a better maintained golf course for the money we charge here at Brooktree. Come on out and play Brooktree, a great golf course.
Hello, I'm David Einhaus with the Owatonna Foundation. Thank you to all of our donors who have helped make Owatonna a better place to live. Will you join us today with a financial gift? Owatonna Foundation is a proud sponsor of the Owatonna Today Show.
Welcome back. We are joined by Betsy Lindgren with Express Employment Professionals. Hello, Betsy.
Hello, how are you?
I am pretty well. How are you?
Nice to see you? I'm great. I just would like to know what happened to February.
February?
Now that it's October, yes. Is anybody feeling the same way out there?
Wow, that's a time gap. So what do we want to talk about today? You are a wealth of experience and information, so it's hard to focus it down. Yeah. But what should we talk about today? What's going on in the employment world that we think needs to be shared?
Well, I guess just a couple of things today. I wanted to focus on our training, the trainings that we have available. Because as you're aware, if you're reading and listening to the news, any of that, you know that right now we're not heading into, but are into an employee shortage, a workforce shortage. Couple that with the gap shortage, and also couple that with work attitudes, okay, which are not, some are not the best work attitudes that are out there. And if you put those together, you've got some real challenges that employers are feeling out there. So one of the things is that obviously recruiting has become a huge, strong force and focus. Mm-hmm. But I think more so is retainment. It's retaining the talent that you do have, that you're not losing it to another company, another competitor, or whatever that is. So focusing on retainment and the best practices for doing that. And so
let me ask you real quick, Betsy,
sure.
Because so you said there is a shortage of employees.
Right, we have a lot of people, exactly, and it's going to get worse because we have, if you look at the stats, there are a tremendous amount of people that will be retiring in the next 5 years. Mm-hmm.
And then there's this gap, which is that's what you're talking about?
Some of that, yes, some of that gap.
And when you talk about retention, for someone for a client who wants to hire your company to get employees through the door to fill those roles and those gaps, what do they get when they're, versus Joe Blow walking in off the street saying, I want a job? What does the client, the company, get when they get one of your associates?
Associates?
Yeah.
Well, first of all, our system and the way that we interview and bring people in is ISO registered. So that means that when you come in and you apply with us, the whole process in which that you go through will be done, every single person will go through the same exact process. So our clients can rest assured that when we bring our individuals, our associates to them, that person has been pre-orientated. They have gone through, as far as all the safety, they've gone through our work expectations, and then also going through that particular site or that work site's expectations, and any pre-orientation that we can do or pre-training. So with that, hopefully the ramp-up time for any individual to walk into that client and be productive, that ramp-up time becomes less, which is great. So that's one of the biggest things.
Yeah, you talk about attitudes in there. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No, that's right.
Is that okay? The attitude. So how is it when a potential employee comes in the door, what kind of attitude do they get? I don't want to say an attitude readjustment. That's not it. But they get the expectations are set out clearly. What do you share with them about the client expectations and the attitude that a successful employee brings to their workplace?
Okay. What we do is most often we have, as I said, a pre-training, pre-orientation that we do for our clients based specifically on that client's needs, their culture, what their roles are, because people, work roles change from culture to culture. Now, the very basic of work roles: be on time, do a great job with whatever you're doing, be a team member, be safety conscious. Those are basics no matter where you go. So those are the things that we emphasize, are the very basics to make sure that they are there, and then get more specific, as I said, with based on the culture and the need and the focus of each individual client.
Because you have a lot of different companies that you serve, and so each one has
exactly, which provides a lot of opportunity for people. I know many times, through the history of temporary services and or staffing has certainly changed through the years, and being in this 30 years this year, I know that there's still some misnomers out there that, untruths, such as people have to pay for their position, that kind of thing, which is the farthest from the truth.
It's the opposite.
It's the opposite. Also, the fact that not everyone that we work with is unemployed. That's the other misnomer. A lot of the people that we work with are employed, and it offers them the availability to come to us, and we can look for opportunities and new opportunities based on what their desire is, based on their own personal and economic goals that they have, because that's what we support. Is helping people to succeed by understanding what their goals are and understanding the direction they want to be able to take, and how can we help them with the tools and opportunities and resources we have available.
So you can help them escalate up to whatever it is that they want to do, but also you help the company retain those people. If they don't want, so that you don't have people at your company then saying, I'm going over to Betsy to see what else is out there.
Well, and that brings us to another subject, that when we're talking about recruiting, that recruiting is a challenge and it's not going to go away. This is not something that's going to be fixed by a downturn in the economy, or it is not, she can always say this word, I can't. It's not cyclical. Thank you. I can never say that word. This is not. It has been in the past to a certain degree, but this is here to stay. So really, the focus, while still intense and a lot of resources being put into recruiting, the focus really needs to be for those front-running companies is going to be on retention. What can we do for additional training, for additional opportunities? How can we have all our individuals develop and continue in that that whole spirit of lifelong learning, is to be able to help develop them, because someone could be a small company and there's not a lot of moving up in the company, so to speak. But there are different opportunities for development, and that's what I think a lot of people, as long as they can continue to learn something new and take on a new challenge, that not everybody always wants to move up, especially again, as I said, if there's not that opportunity to do that in a small company. So
sure, you may want to stay where you are, but still have to be challenged in some way.
Right, challenged in what you do, and you're not doing the same thing.
And employees want to be valued. So I assume if you invest in them in training, does that
Absolutely. Training is not the first thing that usually, in any downturn of the economy, and it usually can be sometimes the most difficult to get a budget for is for training. Mm-hmm. But training really needs to be the top of the food chain right now, as far as working is concerned, because we're going to bring in individuals that are not trained in the skills that we need, and so we need to have an internal training process that is going to help us to bring people in and get them trained and bring them new skills and new opportunities. Number one, for retention. Number two, for your own production. To get the production out the door so your customers are not, disappointed or dismayed because you can't fill their need.
So productivity and retention are two big things with regard to training of employees.
Training, development, focus on the culture. It's a culture of learning. It's a culture of teamwork. It's a culture of nurturing. Just nurturing. I know that sounds maternal, but that's really what it's coming down, is nurturing your teams and nurturing your people that are there. And that also is going to come back to their supervisors. And we have training and programs available. We have Learn to Lead for one of them. This is, reasons, as I explained, one of the reasons that people do leave companies is because of the relationship that they have with their immediate supervisor, and whether or not that supervisor is, again, encouraging, nurturing, etc., coaching. And so, again, having these tools available for the clients, because they're not long drawn out, they're not expensive. We have these, these resources to be able to assist the companies to be more successful in their retention.
So you provide, it's a full schmear of the training that they need. That's a whole package, a program, if you will, that you can deliver to this company.
Different packages that, if they're interested, we certainly have this available to them. And if they need a trainer, we would also provide them with a trainer at the same time. There would be a cost to the trainer. But the woman that we work with, she is her own motivational speaker and trainer and has been in the business for 20 years and does a wonderful job. She's out of Winona. Just a great, great lady.
So not too far away, nope. Easily accessible.
Certainly well worth the investment. Absolutely well worth the investment.
So what we've talked about so far is we've got a shortage of employees and a need to get them in the door and to train them. And so they come with that kind of some of a baseline of cultural understanding and what is expected of them. And then once they're in there, you can work with the company to say, hey, here's some training that we have that can also help you grow and retain.
Right, to hopefully enhance their their training. So.
Okay. Well, if there is anybody who's interested in accessing either your services for employment or a client company, who should they contact?
They should go online at www.expresspros.com or owatonamn.com. Or they can call 455-3002.
455-3002.
That's pretty easy.
Thank you so much, Betsy. You've got so much information. And prior to talking with her, we were how can we get this in 10 minutes? So thank you.
Thanks. I appreciate it. Appreciate your time.
Appreciate you being here.
All right.
Well, you stay with us because after a word from our sponsors, you're going to take a trip up to Duluth with Leanne and watch the hawk migration.
She's the bird goddess.
Hi, I'm Mike Bath, General Manager of the Napa Distribution Center and 2015 Corporate Campaign Leader for United Way of Steele County. Every dollar donated during this year's United Way campaign is an investment in the future of our county. Our goal this year is to raise $670,000 to create a stronger, healthier community where everyone has the opportunity to meet their basic life needs and reach their full potential. It takes all of us pulling together to meet our common goals. And thank you for doing your part to support United Way of Steele County by giving from the heart to this year's campaign.
Hi, my name is Dave Efforts with TPS Insurance. We're here to handle all your insurance needs. We are a very proud supporter of the Owatonna Today Show.
I didn't just want another job, I wanted a career, so I expressed myself.
I was new to town and I didn't know where to turn for a job, so I decided to express myself.
I decided to express myself, and they helped find the right career for me.
Express Employment Professionals is in contact with thousands of companies in need of quality employees. Come in now and get the job you deserve.
Express yourself today. Hi, this is Doug Johnson at the Owatonna Business Incubator, a proud supporter of the Owatonna Today Show. We'd like to welcome you to the incubator. If you're a small business, whether you're existing or a startup, we can help you with office space, manufacturing or warehouse, and free confidential counseling.
Hawk Ridge, September 2015. A lot of hawk watchers today.
If we go between that group is above the.
Oh, I found a kettle.
Okay, where at?
Right above Diagonal Road. Not very high. Just above the first dark gray cloud.
Oh, nice.
There's a kettle of broadwings.
Yeah, they're the ones you don't like. There's 12 different types of raptors hunting plus.
I know. It's like, oh, well, Merlin's not talking. It is a Merlin. So we've got two different birds for you this time. I'll give you a second to come on over. So we've got a little bit of variety. We have a Merlin here on my left, your guys is right, and a sharp-shinned hawk. So we've got two females for you, both hatch years. And so this is a really good way that you can compare some of the differences between our two birds that we've got. So we've got one member of the falcon family and one member of the accipiter family. And you can see they're pretty similar in size right here. This is actually pretty exciting for me. I've only held the male Merlins before, so she feels pretty nice and solid in my hand. Of course, females are a lot larger than the males when it comes to raptors. And it's going to be hard to get her to look at you guys, because she's very interested in seeing who the heck is holding her like this right now. But as she is doing her lovely beak demonstration right here, you can see a special feature that falcons have. They've got what we call a toemeal tooth. So you can see, if you're up close at least, she's got a little extra bump on the bottom of her beak there, or actually on the top part of her beak. And that means that when she grabs something in the air, she doesn't necessarily have to use her talons to kill it the way that a Sharpie will, the sharp-shinned hawk. She can actually fit that toemeal tooth right around the vertebra of her prey and just twist and snap it right there in the air. So that is very good for falcons because they are all about speed. So we'll see if she wants to work on this here. You can see that falcons have really, really pointy wings, and they have nice torpedo or bullet-shaped bodies. So that's going to enable them to be really, really aerodynamic and to basically go at high speeds. If you compare that to a sharp-shinned hawk's wing in our accipiter family, you can see it's much more rounded, a little bit shorter in proportion to her body length, and that's going to enable her to be much more maneuverable. So these are both hatch-year birds, and especially with our sharp-shinned, there's a couple different plumage cues we can look at to tell us that she just hatched this year. Tell us about that.
So yeah, for the sharp-shinned hawks, we can tell that this is a hatch-year bird because it has yellow eyes. So if you look at this bird's eyes, they're a nice yellow color. When they get older, it'll turn into a more orange color, and then their third year, they'll get the deep red, and they'll keep that for the rest of their lives. Another way that we can tell that this bird is a young bird is by its plumage. So it has vertical streaking on its chest, and it's a really nice white with brown streaking. When they get older, they'll get kind of a horizontal barring, and it'll be a really rusty orangish color. Also, the color of this bird's back right now is a brown. When they get older, they will turn into a slate gray color.
All right, since we do have two, we're going to start letting these guys get on their way since they were just banded here, so they are migrating and they've got a long ways to go. Have you leave your left hand on each side, hold your right hand out in a C, just like that. Very good. Switch her around so we can put your right hand here. All right. Just like that.
sort of.
So right over my hand, so a little bit lower. Right, so you're like a little lower. Yeah, there you go. Okay, yep, you don't have to squeeze quite that hard.
Come over here.
We're gonna put, yep, you're good, you're good. You wanna put your other hand around her back? So just like that. Yep, right over her back there, a little bit lower, right over your other hand. Okay, there you go. Feel good? Yeah. All right, look at Ben, he's gonna take your picture.
So if you want to hold her right in front of your chest.
Okay.
Excellent.
All right, and then we're gonna count to 3, and you're gonna hold her up just like the Statue of Liberty again. And then on the count of 3, you're just gonna give her a toss up into the air. Ready? 1, 2, 3. And there she goes.
Eye color. So if you look really close, this bird has a really pretty gray eye color. And if it were to be a female, it would be more of a brownish color. And on its breast, you can see the really pretty kind of rufous red color looking on its chest. And on the back, it has a really pretty gray color. And I'll move my fingers around a little bit so you can see. Hold on a sec. Harriers are really docile. They're really kind of chill. So you can see they also have lots of wing. They're white rump patch.
Yep.
So as they're flying, that's one thing that's kind of a key indicator of what this bird is that white rump patch. As this bird gets older, it will continue to have that white rump patch, but one thing that will change about this bird drastically is the rest of its color. So that eye is going to turn into a really pretty yellow color, and these ones, when they're older, we call them the gray ghost. And that's because they turn pretty much all gray, and they have really pretty dark wingtips. So this bird, I've actually never seen an adult male harrier before. They're really cool to see, I guess, though, because they're so gray. They are. And it's pretty spectacular. The females are going to stay looking about this same color. And as I was walking up with this bird, I heard one of the little girls that's been here for a while say, "Whoa, its face kind of looks like an owl." And she was exactly right. So that might be something that you're noticing right now, that on its face, it has those facial discs. So those markings and those feathers that make it kind of round around their face. And as I'm talking, if you'd like to, you can put your hands like a C back behind your ears. And as I'm talking, you might notice that my voice because of those facial discs. So with this bird, it can, unlike how a lot of raptors hunt, usually hawks and falcons, things like that, are hunting with their eyesight. These ones, because of that facial disc, they can funnel that sound almost like a big satellite on their head, funnel that sound straight into their ears. So they really like to hunt with their ears. And the thing that they're hunting for is pretty much anything that they can catch. So rodents or anything that's running around on top of the snow. These guys don't really like to fly super far. They don't migrate super far. It's just wherever they can find their food during the winter. And what else was I going to tell you? So this bird is a wild bird. It came down to our banding station, which is down the woods, or down the road, down in the woods. And you can see right here below my hand, that little band on there. That's an aluminum band that we put on the bird. And the nice thing about birds is when they fly out of the nest, that's as large as that bird will ever be. So as far as putting that band on them, it's not going to ever get tighter or anything like that. And with banding, the thing that's really nice about banding is we can gain research from the birds that if they were to be recaptured somewhere else, wherever they're migrating, we can tell where they're migrating to. We can also maybe tell how old the bird is or how healthy the bird is now versus the first time that it was banded and captured. But like I said, this is a wild bird, so I'll take questions after we release this bird, but I would like to get this bird on its way. And with harriers, one thing I want to show you first though, is they aren't like sharpshins. They can't just all of a sudden fly right off of the hand and go on their way. They need a little bit more of a boost, and they have these really beautiful long pointy wings. So they have really long pointy wings, and they have that longer tail. And as they're flying away, you're going to notice their flight pattern, and I'll talk about that more once the bird is flying away, but watch for how it's flying away. If you don't see a white rump on a harrier, the other dead giveaway is its flight pattern as it's flying. So right-handed. So I'm going to put the bird in your right hand, and you're actually going to hold the bird around kind of like this, and then when you release, it's going to be up like this. So I'm going to have you take a couple steps back. If you're in the front, can you just scrunch down your feet here? So how you're going to release the bird is you'll have it like this, and then you'll be kind of 1, 2, and then with these birds, we really got to give them a nice big toss up. So pretend like it's a big old basketball you're just tossing up in the air. And he's a little fidgety, so don't worry about that. Just keep your hands nice and tight on him. And other than that, you should be good. So I'm going to put my hand over the top of the bird like that. Since your hands are so big, you don't actually need your other hand. So you can just set that one by your side. So right over this there. And folks, we're going to do it on the count of 3. You ready? 1, 2, 3. There it goes.
Hi, Warren Abraham, Abraham Consulting Technologies, your one-stop technology shop. We support the Owatonna Today Show.
Owatonna Public Utilities, real people, real reliable, real progress. Making life a little easier day after day, taking pride in our community, listening to what you say, a voice you can talk to. We're growing with you. Owatonna Public Utilities.
Welcome back. We are here with your community announcements. This Saturday, October 3rd at St. Joseph's is the Promoting Peace Conference. It begins at 9 a.m. That is at St. Joseph's at 512 Elm Avenue South here in Owatonna. If you've ever wondered in terms of domestic violence why somebody doesn't just leave, or if they're in an abusive situation, you'll be able to understand that better with an interactive session where you as a participant make decisions using information that you'll be provided at that conference. We really encourage you to attend that. This Sunday, Steele County Humane Society is teaming up with Oakview Nursery's Pumpkin Patch. That is located at 7921 South County Road 45 to help find homes for homeless puppies and kittens. And that is taking place again this Sunday at Oakview Nursery's Pumpkin Patch. Finally, actually, we want you to know, come on back and join us next week. Some of our guests include Steele County Public Health flu shot time, information about public health and the upcoming season of flus and other things. United Way Steele County campaign update. Owatonna Forward community organization. It's talking about the school district bond referendum. And Ecumen Brooks and Countryside pre-plan assisted living options. So those are some of the shows coming up next week, as well as Amy Swain Hearing Center. So join us then, won't you?